Welcome back to the Global Business Report here on the Rice News. Every time on this show, we talk about the stock markets. We don't just talk about it just for news. We want you to participate in the markets as well. Markets can be risky, so we talk about always talking to your financial advisor, assessing your risk tolerance, and finding out how much money you can afford to lose by hopping into capital markets. So we're going to be looking at the personal finance path for 2026. We're going to talk about budgeting. We're going to talk about tracking your transactions because we have a new tax bill that's been signed into law now, so tax law, cutting spending, and also the right approach to investing. So we're happy to have your personal finance girl, Oluchukwu Chiadika, with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. Have a seat, please. I'm going to be very much looking forward to this conversation. So welcome.
Thank you.
I guess kicking off, it's January. The year has just started. I know January is almost over though, but still got a couple weeks to go. Can you talk about the importance of budgeting to kick off the year?
Okay, so it's very important to budget. So I'll start with what exactly is budgeting, because we all hear that and it sounds like a giant jargon. Yeah. Budgeting is you telling your money exactly where you want it to go. You want your money to go bring you more money. Yeah. You want it to pay your bills. You're literally telling the money, okay, this month I will do A, I will do B, I will do C. So it is absolutely important that everybody is able to tell their money where they want it to go per time. Yeah. And January literally sets the tone for the year. We'd hear how January has 90 days, 60 days. It's because you did not tell your December salary how you want it to be in January.
Can you say that again? It's because what? No, say it again.
It's because you did not tell your December salary how you want it to go in January.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now, a budget is one thing. Sticking to it, can you talk about the discipline required? I mean, maybe it's harder for some people or easier for some, depending on discipline, or, to talk about the discipline of sticking to a budget. Okay,
so discipline is different for different people. So for you to be disciplined, you need to have accountability, you need to have reminders. And for you to do that, it means you're literally just setting an alarm that every week I will go and check what my money has done. Or every bi-weekly, I'm going to do this. And if you see that, setting an alarm doesn't work for you, how about you get a friend that you can talk to about money? How about you get an accountability group or a community that you people talk about these things at every point in time? So you have to set systems and structures in place. And it could be as simple as having an alarm. It could be as simple as writing things down at the end of the day. But you need to find what works for you at every point in time and just go with the flow.
Okay. Now, what role, it's Friday, so this is our Eye on Tech. We're talking a lot about technology and so on. What role can tech play in making the budgeting process easier to understand and to stick to as well?
Okay, so we have so many apps.
Right.
We have spreadsheets that we can literally use to even know as you're spending, if you impute it, it can tell you the balance. And then for the apps, there's so many free apps on the Play Store, on App Store that you can download, just so that as you go about your day, we're always with our phones. The same way you'd open your social media, you can as well just open that app up and impute your details into it. And then for some of these apps, they literally help you to do reminders. We have so many products that are local. We have international products. Just find one, like literally open your phone as you're listening to me right now and type budgeting app or type expense tracker. You're going to see different platforms that do this. In fact, I just realized that some of the new age, new bank that we call them, have some of those things embedded, but we are not using them.
Gotcha.
So you can actually use whatever you have right now to your advantage.
Now, you mentioned, as you have spending and so on and so forth. I need you to talk about tracking your transactions, right? Because we've got a new tax law that's been implemented. We've been talking a lot about how individuals and businesses should track their transactions and file them. So can you talk about, the importance of doing that with taxes and so on, and just tracking?
So this is literally the most talked about.
The taxes, right?
This is what everybody wants to know.
Oh my goodness.
So you're only going to be taxed on your income.
Right.
And then because we have so many inflows, gifts here, this here, coming into our account, if you're unable to tell clearly that this is not an income, you might as well be taxed for it.
Gotcha.
Because you're unable to defend that this is not how it is. So for everybody that is listening, whether you're a business person, you're a personal person, you want to be sure that you know the difference between the money that comes into your account, that is this an income? Did I earn this? Or I moved it from account A to account B and it is not an income. So it's very important to track. So how can you track? You could use the paper and pen, which some people would prefer. You
That's
could
old
use
school,
you could use the literal. You could actually make use of the spreadsheets that a lot of us are already using,
right.
or you can even go as far as making use of apps. This is going to help you to be able to record what you're doing with your money per time, and then when it's time for us to file our taxes, you can now come out and say, all this money that came in, it is only XYZ that was income, and so this is what I'm going to be able to pay tax on. And it's very important to also file early, because if you do not file early, you might as well just be racking up some fees that you did not even plan for. So save yourself the stress and just track.
Track your transactions, file your taxes. I do want to ask you about cutting spending, and this is a big topic around the world. Here in Nigeria, everybody talks about the SUVs that government officials are using, House of Assembly. In the United States, everywhere, the UK, cutting spending. Everybody's talking about governments cutting spending. How important is it for individuals to also cut their spending?
Okay, so for individuals, right, I look at it from two angles.
Yeah.
There's the part where it's very important that you cut down on how you're spending. Many people actually are very extravagant. You're buying things you don't need. You're spending more than you should. Probably you're doing Father Christmas when you shouldn't, and all of that. So it is very important that you know what your basic needs are, your essentials are. And when you're going above and beyond that, there should be a cap to it. I'm not saying, oh, don't spend your hard-earned money on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just saying be realistic. If you're going to be spending this much money on things that make your life more beautiful, are you planning for the future? We would all shout about how the government needs to cut down, but individuals are not even practicing it. And it's very important that you live within your means. And then there's another part where there are a lot of us that are not living within our means.
Right.
So we're spending more money than we earn. Before the next salary comes in, we're back to that rigorous cycle of being stressed out about our finances. And it's simply because we don't even know what our essentials are. Then now moving to the next part of now saying, okay, I'm going to just do this percentile for enjoyment, and then this percentile for saving or investing. A lot of us don't even know those numbers.
Right. Thanks for mentioning savings and investing, because that's what I'm going to next. Like, that's probably my favorite topic, right? Okay. The stock markets, how they do. We cover all the markets around the world every day. And I try to tell people to, invest, but it's risky. And I've checked out your very popular Instagram page, and I saw one of your posts on investing in stocks. So what's the right approach? Particularly, I know there's safer investments like bonds, treasury bills, and so on. But I guess putting it all together, what's the proper approach to investing? Okay,
so before you go ahead to invest, I would always say that you need to understand your risk profile.
Yeah.
So this would help you to know which of the assets that you should be investing in. I mean, even after knowing your risk profile, it's very important that you go ahead and understand whether or not you are able to invest at this particular point in time. You need to put things in place like ensuring that you have an emergency fund. This is money that will come and save you when life just throws those curveballs at you. When you have this in place, then you can as well start investing. But before you go ahead to invest, you want to be sure that whatever you're investing your money into, or whatever amount of money you're willing to invest in the type of asset you want to invest, you're able to let go of that money. Yes, it doesn't make sense. We're supposed to be investing to make more money. Why are you telling me that I need to be able to let go of that money? It's very simple. If you do not understand that this money can wake up one day and go.
Right, because the markets can drop. Anything can happen, right?
Can drop at any point in time.
Yeah.
This means that you simply would not be able to bear the losses. So you can as well just put your money in a high-yield savings account.
Right.
So before you go into investing, you need to know all of these things. And then when you're going into investing, there's this thing where you have to have a diversified portfolio. You don't go ahead and buy all of the assets in banking and you say you have a diversified portfolio.
Gotcha.
You want to spread it across different sectors, different industries, so that if sector A isn't doing well, sector B could be doing well, and at the end of the day, the average will be favorable to you. So this is how you should look at investing.
Fantastic. But since we're here in our particular client, I know scams are worldwide, but for it's pronounced on the continent. I shout out to the SEC, CBN, and all our agencies. They've tried to warn as best as they can in their capacity to watch out for scams. How can one protect themselves from falling into a scam that's dressed up as a juicy investment?
That is how they always come, like looking very smooth and sharp.
Yeah.
But you want to ask simple questions when it's time for you to go ahead to do that investment. Number one, do they have the licenses? So if you go on the SEC website, if you go to CBN, do they have their licenses to be doing the exact businesses that they are doing? if you're like, okay, you can't find it, can you even explain how this particular business makes money?
Right.
If this particular business, you cannot explain, and they're telling you, don't worry, don't bring one person to bring the second person. Me, I made money, and that's the only thing they're telling you. Please run. By all means, run. Because if you cannot explain how a particular investment you're going to put in your money in makes money, then it's as well as not an investment. Right. If they do not have the right, licenses or affiliation to those licenses, then you're as well just giving your money to any other person that can wake up and tell you, I'm sorry, business went bad and
your money is
gone. So you want to be very careful and also understand your risk appetite. Ask very simple questions. When it comes to investing, one thing I've seen is there is nothing like a dumb question, because you want to be able to explain this to a child, and the child can understand that, oh, if I go and invest in this particular company, when this particular company does well, I will get a profit from it. And if they don't do well, I would not get a profit from it. But this particular one is telling you, oh, it is, I'm not even going to mention, but I hope you understand what I'm saying.
All right, you touched on the need for an emergency fund. So I want to ask you about networking, right? When in Nigeria, it's who you know. So, and I know some folks who are, like to be indoors and they're not very social. Can you talk about the need, especially for people who want to build a career in this climb? Networking, getting contacts again, and how that can help one's career, and even as far as with your finances going forward.
Okay, so networking is very important.
Yeah.
So, funny story, someone reached out to me, I'm looking for someone to do XYZ for me. And the first person that came to my mind is someone that I have come across with, and we've talked, and we're like literal peers. Yeah. And I've referred.
Right.
So, do people in your circle, people that you talk to, do they know what you're doing? So this is like very simple. So while you might not end up being best of friends, you want to be sure that people around you, peers, acquaintances, know what you're doing, and ensure that you know how to do this work so that you don't go and ruin someone's name, right? But then again, it's important for you to come out of your comfort zone, network, or try to know what other people are doing and tell them what you're doing as well. And most importantly, people ahead of you and people beneath you should know what you're doing. Yeah. So this is like how you want to also look at networking. Aside the fact where you actually become friends and acquainted with these people and you guys can do business together, people should know what you're doing, and that's like how it affects your personal finance, by the way. So don't get it twisted. This is exactly how it should affect your personal finance in a way that you can now increase your income or get more businesses or even change jobs for a fact. So yeah, that's how it should work.
Great conversation. Incredibly informative. Thank you for doing it. But before we let you go, it's Friday, and some folks are going out on dates today, right? The weekend is here. I saw this viral video. I wanted to get your thoughts, right? This lady went viral on TikTok because she says before she goes out on a date, a man has to pay for everything, pay for her makeup, her clothes, so on and so forth. She's now turned it into a business opportunity. She's now turning it into an app. So she's starting a dating app where whoever wants to go and use it, they might of course have to continue that same philosophy that she has, which is not new here. But let's listen to the clip.
The deposit. After I said I would require a deposit to take me on a date to cover my date preparation costs, I'm now working with an app developer to make this a reality. This is actually happening. We are building the app. I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this is the best damn dating app you have ever seen, because there is a clear difference here where the woman can set the deposit rate and the man can pay for her date preparation costs. So as a woman, you're going to walk into the date already so happy, and that's going to lead to a better date and a better connection, and that gives the man a better chance of succeeding in courting you. The app is called Courted. So when people ask, how did you meet? You can say, he courted me.
I think that's pretty smart. The app is called Courted. So first of all, I guess we'll get to the business side. What you remember we had you on our Valentine's Day special, and folks remember you for saying that women deserve a girlfriend allowance. No one has forgotten that, right? But what they call now, look, this isn't new here in our climb. There are some, not all, some ladies who say, listen, if you're going to ask me out, you got to have to pay for everything: my hair, makeup, clothes, shoes, and transportation to if she's not driving. What do you make of that? I mean, since we're talking about personal finance and spending for whoever is going to be asking people on dates,
that doesn't actually sit well with me personally.
You shocked me. I thought you were going to be for. Okay.
While I'm for the business owner, I'm not for the actual
putting in deposits and paying.
That's pretty much transactional. It's a nice tool.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that the guy wants to offer to pay, but now saying it's mandatory.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
I'm not sure.
Oluchukwu, I am surprised.
Yeah,
because hey, because it's something that happened. Well, listen, thank you so much for the very informative conversation here on personal finance. And we've got to have you back because there's so many things that happen throughout the year. So, Oluchukwu Chiadika, your personal finance girl, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.